Hello there. Today we're going to show you how to connect the iCode quad device to an Atari Trackball. This device supports up to 4 joysticks. It can also work with paddles, driving controllers, and of course now with the firmware 9.07 and above, it'll support the Atari Trackball. And actually it started with firmware 9, but there were some bugs in the early version 9 which made it only work with the Duo devices, but with 9.07 and above, it actually does work with the Atari Trackball. So let me show you how to configure the device before you connect your trackball. So you'll notice that there is a screen here, and by default, there should be an Atari mode. A means Atari mode, and this number 1, if you're curious what it means that these buttons that I press, when I press them, it's going to be set to port 1. So it's going to act like gamepad 1, whatever these buttons are. You can configure these, which if you want to send them to port 2 or 3 or 4 in the menu options. And then you can also change the console. So if you don't see an A here, it means you might be in Coleco mode or in Genesis mode. So you want to switch it to Atari mode. So the way you do that is you go to the menu by pushing the green and the red at the same time, and then go to the other menu, which is W means white. So I'm going to push W, which is white, and then notice the console is set to Atari, and G which is the green button, will switch the console. So just you can toggle through them. Make sure you get back to Atari mode, and then turn on the mouse. It might be off like the way I have it here. So blue, which is B, is going to turn the mouse on or off. Just make sure you keep it on like that. And then W is the sensitivity. I like the sensitivity to be on 10. You can make it more sensitive or less sensitive. Here, I like it. After playing with it for a little while, I like it on 10. So it'll toggle through 50 and then come back to 5, and then I put it on 10 like this. Depending on the resolution of your screen, you might try different numbers. And then yellow takes you to the previous menu. Make sure Meister is off, of course. And then you want to go to K, which is the black key, which will take you to the configuration menu. And here you'll notice trackball is set to off. So green, which is the G, will toggle that. So I'm going to toggle that on. If driving is on for some reason, make sure that's off. And here's that button as, which means these buttons will be sent to port 1. If I wanted to send them to a different port, I could push the white key and change that, but I'll leave it as 1. And then yellow goes back to the previous menu, and then I'm going to push yellow one more time, and then it'll come back to this display. When you're in trackball mode, by default, the system will turn the display off, which means that you're not going to see activity when I move the trackball or move my joysticks. It won't show, but you'll see here it's in mode trackball. It's in Atari mode. It's got my mouse resolution and my display is off. And then red and yellow at the same time will toggle the display. So if I want to turn the display on, I can do that, and this turned my display on. And you notice M means mouse is on as well, and B means trackball mode. So that's how you want it. But you don't want to leave the display on because it'll lose some speed and your trackball won't work as well. So you want to turn the display off, and that's again green and it's red and yellow at the same time, like the menu had shown. So R plus yellow, red and yellow, that toggle. So leave it in this off mode, and then go ahead and connect your trackball. And when you connect your trackball, it should now control the mouse on your desktop. Let's go ahead and show you my desktop. Here it is. Here's my mouse, and here's the trackball. And notice my mouse is now moving as I move my trackball around. The mouse also follows. I've got Altera here loaded with missile command to play with because I usually use the mouse, but now that I've got the trackball working, I want to use it with trackball. Notice in the middle it says T-ball, which means I have it in trackball mode. If it says stick, you can push Control T on your keyboard. Let me go ahead and show you that. So if Control T toggles between stick and trackball mode, so now it's in trackball mode. And then make sure your input is set up. Try it with mouse first. Make sure mouse is working. If mouse is working, then you know your input is set correctly. But let me show you how I set it up. So I'm going to go to my input mappings here, and you'll notice that I added one called iCode Trackball. You can just push add here, and it'll add one, and you can type in iCode Trackball as for the name. And then when I push edit, and make sure you add a controller. I added a controller called the trackball controller, which was here. So when I added that, it brought these in, and then I used the rebind method to map my button 1 as my mouse. You can also double click here and pick mouse left mouse button. That's what I want for my fire to work. And then my axis, it's going to be when I move my mouse vertically, it's going to be axis 2. When I move my mouse horizontally, make sure it's also set to relative. It's going to go to axis 1. So you'll notice here is the relative. You can control the sensitivity here as well. I like it on 5, but if there's something you want to change, you can also control it somewhat here. And then I've also added a controller called console. So if you go down here in console, add that. And then I mapped these buttons on the device, so the white button and the black button. I set them to the black is start, and then this one is select button, and then option. I think I mapped it to blue. But all you got to do is you got to click here, click on rebind, and then it'll wait for you to press the button. So from start, I want it to be black. So as soon as I push black, it's going to go down, and it's ready for the next one. Then you push the white button, and then I used blue button, so that's gone. Okay, now we're good. Go to start button, and then we're going to go ahead and there we go, much better. Okay, it's working quite well. So as you can see, it did act like a mouse, and my mouse is working, my cursor is working nicely. I can quickly move from left to right very easily, and even if I want to push fire very quickly, pretty nicely done here. All right, well, I hope this was helpful.